Welcome back, everybody, to the WoW Nightcap. My name is Flattus. With me, next to me, across the bar from me, it's my co-host Talan.
What's going on? Probably across the bar to you. I'm still not super well, so I'm on the mend. So probably like across the table. Yeah, it would probably be better for our health there. So we'll go with that one.
Get this man a shot of just straight whiskey.
Literally. I don't recommend this. This is not medical advice for anyone at home. But if you were going to take a certain flu-type remedy and make a hot toddy with it, it doesn't taste bad. Doesn't taste bad. And that's all I will say, because this is not medical advice.
We're not doctors. nor are we healers.
Yeah, no. Not even kind of. So
yeah. So many of things to talk about in the World of Warcraft. It seems to be popping off currently. So let's dive into it. The new cinematic Dark Heart, the in-game cinematic for the World of Warcraft. We're going to finally get the final chapter of Dragonflight, but also the leading into the upcoming expansion of the War Within. We're going to confront Xal'atath when Dark Heart arrives on May 7th, which is soon. This by the time you're listening to this, you should be playing that, hopefully. And my favorite thing about the cinematic, not to say the cinematic, and I should say in-game cinematic. My favorite part about the in-game cinematic was that the mouths. Talon, did you notice that the mouths were properly moving?
I did notice that. As someone who does voiceover as well, seeing the mouth flaps, as it were, match up with what they were saying was a real nice touch. I really appreciated that. It wasn't just Khadgar opening his jaw, seeming from an unhinged position and just moving side to side. It actually like moved like a mouth should when you're talking. So that was a very, very noticeable thing.
Yeah, it wasn't bad puppetry anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anytime you've seen his floating head, right? His jaw would open and then it never like fully closed again until he stopped talking. It just moved side to side and it was always very awkward. It was like a cow chewing cud. That image just side to side, like, oh, adventurer, we need you again, you know? And see, all I did was move my jaw around, and then, not that was perfect, but that was pretty close to what he sounded like.
Yeah, and I felt bad for the voice actors because the voice actors were doing a great job. It's just the in-game cinematic never matched up to their voices, and it sucked. This I will say, pretty phenomenal. I would say, like, you could see, like, they did two things right. Three, I would say. 1, 3, the writing was great. 2, the mouth moving was fantastic. 3, it actually seemed like these characters were having a conversation. It wasn't just like I'm being talked at or we're being talked at. It was like I just got to be a fly on the wall for this conversation between these two people, and it felt great. Like it felt like, oh hey, Khadgar, Illyria are just having a conversation.
And I felt Illyria's. No, go ahead.
And I said it, and it just felt great. Like it just felt like a smooth. Like I like this. If this is where we're heading. If this is the things of if we're going within, this is where we're going with the War Within. I'm into it. So.
Well, yeah, absolutely, man. Illyria's attitude came through 100% through that. With I don't want to spoil it for anybody, although if you're keeping up with the show, you're probably keeping up with this. But there was a hint at a suggestion of doing a thing, and before the like full asking of the task could be done, just that delivery was pretty on point. Like, yes, I'm gonna go do the thing. I will play fetch, because why else would you call me or talk to me? Also, really cool to see Illyria again around people that actually, care about her, considering the last time we saw her.
Yeah. Or read about her, depending on who you are and what book you read last. So, So yeah, the new Dark Heart cinematic is happening. We're gonna get that intro storyline. I'm excited. I can't wait to see what happens. Also, on the May 7th, we're getting the Heritage armor sets for the Draenei Trolls. 6 new hair colors for the Kultiran humans. And of course, access to all Dragonflight quests. So everything is going to be unlocked. You don't have to you can pick and choose what quest lines you can go on now. You're not going to have to finish one to go to start another one, sort of. So, which is all good things. So, May 16th, Pandaria Remix drops. I am excited. We are currently at the, to be exact, we are a little over 9 days away at this point, to Pandaria. And I cannot wait. So so it's going to be, I guess our characters are going to be called Time Runners, which I love that name already.
Okay. All right. Time Runners. I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's going to be, like the Plunder Storm, there's going to be a button for Mystic Pandaria Remix, and then we create our Time Runners. Our Time Runners are going to have their own screen, like their own what's the word I'm looking for? Like their own character screen, so they're not going to be mixing with our characters yet. And it says, questing and raids, all Pandaria quests and scenarios, dungeons, and raids are available to play. New items and mechanics, completely new itemization and unique spell gems give players access to a new gameplay experience. Unique rewards by completing event achievements. You'll unlock new mounts, battle pets, transmog, and more for your account. There is a peacock, like a Asian style peacock mount. There's the Chen Storms Out drum. There's Chen's hat, which I'm stoked about. So into this, really into this. The fact that we level up all our stuff to level 70 and we get these characters at the end, cannot wait. Of course, if you travel over to Wowhead, they have a guide kind of giving you the overview of everything. And from my understanding, the currency that everything revolves around is called bronze. And so you'll get bronze from looting all mobs, from common mobs to raid bosses. You can get it from opening a cache of infinite treasures, opening treasure chests, flying through bronze orbs scattered across Pandaria. Dragon flying, I believe, is going to be available to us on this. Completing dungeon scenarios and raids, opening bronze caches, minor bronze, lesser bronze cache, and the greater bronze cache. So green, blue, purple, and then legendary. And then Dawn's Blossom in Jade Forest, Half Hill Vale. So in all the major cities, there's going to be a vendor where you can buy all the gear, buy all the mounts, buy all the pets. Gonna be a lot of things. And also there's going to be the Cloak of Infinite Potential, a new time running advantage cloak. Your cloak grants you the following. Gives you it's a stat coat, essentially. One of the things you can get is 169% experience gain.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so it's gonna be nice. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of things that are gonna you could upgrade that coat a lot, and then the more you upgrade it, the better it gets. And eventually you're going to unlock the legendary cloak, so the one from Pandaria originally. A lot of people don't get that cloak because they took it out of the game, so you can't even do that quest line anymore just to get the cloak. So now you're going to be able to get the cloak. It looks cool. It looks fun. If you collect 4,200 threads for your cloak of infinite potential, you can get the toys of Fury of Zuen, Kindness of Chi-Ji, the Essence of Yulan, and the Fortitude of Nizao. Essentially you get the cool glowy back pieces of the four gods of that were in Pandaria. So
right, the four lords.
I am excited. Don't understand.
No, man. Dude, I'm So I was so excited about it. Like, I even made a suggestion before we recorded this yesterday. Actually, I was like, "Hey, do we want to like wait one more week just so that we can talk about the remix things? Because we're gonna have a lot of things to talk about for the remix things since it's next weekend." And I was very sad when I had to be reminded that it's not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. So the weekend of the 16th, which is sad for me because I want it. I want it to be here, and I want to do all the things. I want to be a time runner. I want to earn the new cool cloak, and some of my suspicions have already been answered for the things that I thought that this was going to be. I really think that this is in preparation for warbands because they're creating or funneling you to create a whole new character, right? That character is going to be able to, and all of their achievements and everything are going to be able to be ported over to the War Within. So it's almost like this character that you're doing now. It doesn't have to be like your original tune. I think is going to be able to do this eventually. But if you don't have an alt already, right? Let's say that you're, I don't know who you are, but if you somehow have stayed away from the alt itch in World of Warcraft and haven't made an alt at all, and you're like, well, warbands aren't for me. Well, they are really incentivizing creating this other character where you can go out and do all the cool things and experiment doing some wild, wacky things and earning a lot of the really cool awards and achievements that you didn't or can't do anymore, like you mentioned with the cloak being one of those, and also just being able to bounce around in the Timeless Isles again, and just do all the really cool things is super exciting. I am ready to I'm curious how the dungeons are going to be because there's one particular character that I want to go Ook and the Duker again. I repeated that during that entire expansion. I would just go around even my, some of my friends was they would say something stupid. I'm like, I'm gonna ook you in a duker, and they're like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, well, ook is whatever you want it to mean, and duker is also whatever you want it to mean. So I make no promises to the meanings of any of these things, but there's a certain Hosen that is going to be really excited to tell you that over and over again. Really excited to meet him again, and also going back into this is the Nightcap, of course. So going back into the brewery is going to be a whole lot of fun.
For sure.
Can't wait. Having barrels of beer thrown at you. I can't think of a better time, honestly. I really can't. It's going to be amazing.
Can I tell you that I want a Family Feud style poll of what duker means? What is a duker?
We should get that going. We should throw that up on Twitter and see what the poll
and how do you ook someone in it?
Maybe we can get one of a friend of the show to do a Family Feud host thing for us, and that'll be a bonus episode we can do. Yeah. We'll have to brain shop that one, but that would be fun. A WoW Family Feud thing.
Yeah. How does one ook the Duke? No one wants to know. So it's needless to say, super excited about Pandaria Remix. Are you excited about Pandaria Remix? Let us know. So Talan.
Flattus.
That sweet classic era, game that everybody loves and everyone's like, oh, this is the best. Classic is the best. We love classic.
Yeah. Sure do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
what could go wrong with classic? Absolutely perfect.
Well, it broken. It's probably the worst launch in Blizzard history at the moment. It's so bad. It is so bad. So bad. And I mean, it's bad. It is bad.
Are you saying that it's like a Cataclysm?
It's it's a cataclysm. I mean, you can't leave dungeons. You can't. Worgen can't. Some Worgens can't do certain daily quests. Yeah, it's all sorts of. It's bad. It's
all bad.
It's all bad. It is insane. One thing, so like people were finding, like some people were finding if they did one battleground, they leveled up 40 levels. Because why not?
Just one battleground? Okay.
One battleground.
Okay.
Yeah, DK passives are borked. Like it is something. It is something. I've seen some. Listen, and I mean this in all kindness. This is why your QA is important. This is why quality insurance.
Oof.
This is why quality assurance is so important, and this is why you keep them around, and this is why you pay them well. I was just
about to say, man, if only there was a team of dedicated people who worked really hard to make sure, and they were still around to wait.
And maybe, and just hear me out, Talan. Hear me out. Not to say anything. I know we were just talking about Pandora Remix. I know, like, we're excited for it, but also maybe, just maybe, just maybe, War Within Alpha, Pandora Remix, the season 4. Plunder Storm just said Cataclysm. Maybe not spread them too thin. Maybe just maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what happens when you have 4 really big events happening all at the same time, but you reduce your staff by almost 50%?
Well, listen, I know it's not what Blizzard did. It's what Microsoft did. I know that.
True.
So I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying it's what I'm saying is that if you're waiting for Cataclysm, if this was your first experience of Cataclysm, I am sorry. I will say Cataclysm launch back in the day wasn't too bad. I don't remember it being a bad launch. This is not a good taste in anybody's mouth, especially for a expansion that has already come out once. You know what I'm saying? Like, for something that was already released once, you would think, because the other expansions that were released, right? Classic and BC and Wrath, right? Those went off pretty much without a hitch. Maybe some small things, but pretty much without a hitch. This is rough. This is rough. And if you're out there and you're excited about Cataclysm because, hey, listen, I really liked Cataclysm, or hey, I never experienced this part of the game. There's people that legitimately went back to play, Classic Era, BC, Wrath, and now we're moving on to Cataclysm because they never did those things and they wanted to see kind of like in other MMOs, right? Like, sometimes we bring up other MMOs on this podcast and in relation to like EverQuest and EverQuest 2 and a few other Dungeons and Dragons Online. There's a few other MMOs that do it, but timed lock servers or old school servers where they bring you back to like the beginning and let you or expansion lock servers, or say like once the majority of the group gets to a point in the expansion, the next expansion will unlock. This is something that people like to redo and and really expand upon. And I can see a lot of people being upset because they're like, hey, this is just weird stuff. Like, I don't remember not being able to leave a dungeon in Cataclysm repatch the first time. I could be wrong, but I don't remember that talent. and I feel bad because there's a lot that they're trying to fix right now. There's a lot.
Well, and this I wonder, and this is just speculation because I don't crap all about coding. Like, so this guy could just sound like a complete idiot, which wouldn't be the first time. Certainly not going to be the last time. But I wonder if this is now the culmination of like I've mentioned it before that classic is kind of a what if best scenario sort of thing. Like now that we have hindsight and what would we do different, like we'd keep it mostly the same, but of course we're going to keep some of the quality of life stuff and things like that. So the code isn't exactly like it was for vanilla. The code isn't exactly like it was for BC or Wrath and so on and so forth. Is it possible that part of these issues are because they tried to port over most of the old code for the original Cataclysm into this new classic version that we have now, but it doesn't talk the same because maybe something back in vanilla that had to do with, or I guess Wrath. When did Worgen show up? Wrath?
Yeah, Wrath.
Wrath.
No. So sorry. Like, no. Cataclysm, because you got Worgen and the goblins in Cataclysm.
That's right. Yeah. So like maybe there's something that happened in like the way that new zones are unlocked, like from back in BC, that talks to a part of the code in Cataclysm where I don't know, like, and then it just like, well, since you're in a new zone, we don't recognize this character because this character was already in this new vanilla code. We already recognize Worgens, but now there's not, like, you know, like I'm saying that there's got to be something somewhere when trying to retrofit some of these things. And so I'm trying to give a little bit of grace, but I think my suspicion is that now we have finally caught up to that particular moment where trying to put the square peg in the round hole has caught up to the developers. I could be completely wrong, but that's for it to be this broken, this bad.
Yeah, it's spicy in there. It is spicy. It is just a good old. It's a poop fest currently. It's a big old poop fest. What can I say? I mean, I feel for the team having to make all these fixes. They're rapidly trying to fix things. They are communicating those fixes. It just didn't go off without a hitch, and unfortunately, the hitch was pretty bad this time. You know, I just think QA spread thin, man. And it's unfortunate. Like, listen, if you're on the QA team, you happen to listen to this podcast, I feel for you. If we're wrong,
thank
we're
you
wrong.
For what you do.
Yeah, thank you for what you do. But also, if we're wrong, we're wrong. Let us know if we're wrong. Like, hey, like, you know. But I have a feeling that, you know, maybe just you're doing a lot of work, and it's just, you know, some things. This is why proper staffing is important. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why proper staffing is important. So we'll see.
You know, I'm not gonna. Who was I watching just the other day? I can't remember, and I feel terrible for quoting it and can't remember who to attribute it to. But if you hear that, like this isn't my original idea, so I'll just put it out there like that. But there's this guy who apparently. Oh, now I'm just like losing my whole train of thought here. It's gonna come to me. Dagummit, I completely dropped it.
YouTuber or
it is a YouTuber, and it's one that you and I follow very closely. One that we have a lot of respect for. It was the YouTuber was Bellular, but he attributed it to another group, and essentially the sentiment was, you can't lay off a bunch of your staff and then expect things to go well. And not to receive a lot of flack and flashback for it. And this was like on one of the more recent ones. But again, I hate even just like vaguely talking about it if I can't attribute it to who it's actually going to be, or even what episode he's referring to for any of this. So I'm terrible at remembering things, and I apologize. And so this is just a mute sentiment. I apologize.
Yeah. I would like to add also this past week, we found out that Christy Golden, who wrote many books for World of Warcraft and was a writer for the game, who's been working with Blizzard over the last 25 years. Now, maybe not necessarily always on the staff, but she was on the staff recently. They hired her I want to say a good few years ago, was part of the speaking of cuts, was part of the cuts that happened. Christy was just silent and up until now. She was dealing with some family things and spending time with her family. Not at all upset. She was bummed, of course, properly bummed out that she lost her position, but still spoke in good faith of the company and Blizzard themselves, saying that she looks forward to working with them in the future. Even if it's just writing a book or something like something along those lines, like she used to. Um, it's always sad to see. It seems Blizzard wants. Maybe this was a fresh blood thing. Like hey, we really want to spice up more with it, because Chrissy Golden did a lot of work for Sylvanas, and Sylvanas isn't there anymore. And I'm not to say like her writing was bad. I think Sylvanas was given a really bad, like, it was, she did the best she could with what she was given. Does that make sense? Like, I feel that was the case. Like, she was given a very, very short leash to work with, and did the best that she could.
Yes. The books that she's written, I'm a big fan of her writing. Big fan of her. I own 2 books that she has authored in conjunction with some other people. But me being a big Sylvanas fan,
Yeah.
she did like the last books that she wrote for her, which I haven't read. I need to read it, but you could tell that she was really close to that character and wasn't really on board with a lot of the changes that were being made to her. And I respected her for that, or at least that's my assumption that I read into with the way that I was reading her character, being familiar with some of her writing in the past. So I could just be like interjecting some of my own feelings there. But that was really sad to hear and to see someone who has been so ingrained into what World of Warcraft is, at least for the past like 12 years, wasn't super great.
Yeah, it is. She said, in the time she's spent, her relationship with Blizzard's over 25 years old. In that time, she learned how to play video games. She traveled the world, created and fleshed out characters that millions loved, became a New York Times bestselling author, kept food on the table, gained new skills, crafts an entire second career, won awards, and met some of the finest humans on the planet. I'm reading directly from Christy Golden's, Twitter/X post. And that she'll miss many things. Story with SFD folks, writing cinematics and song lyrics. So we know that some of the song lyrics came from Christy Golden. Working with different teams and people. And one thing she never experienced versus but grew to love passionately was recording with their incredible voice actors. She's grateful for this experience. She did write in her post as well that she is, she will still hang with her friends at Blizzard, and that door has never been closed. And she said that one thing she learned is that nothing stays static. Also, formal employment has compromised less than 1/3 of my time associated with Blizzard. So that's not a bad thing, right? Like, that is not bad. That means like most of her time came from them going over and saying, hey, we're going to pay you to write this book. And hey, we want you to write this. And hey, would you like to contract? So most of it hasn't been formal employment. Which,
right, it's more contract stuff.
Yeah,
but which means that it's not over, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. It's just just like you said, the formal part of it has now gone to the wayside.
Yeah. So Chrissy Golden ended her post with a line she wrote years ago for Sojourn, which is a Overwatch character. She did more than World of Warcraft. So even the best journeys end, but a new one is just around the corner, and you never know where that road is going to take you. And Christy said, I plan to enjoy the journey. So I think we'll see more of Christy Golden. I don't think this is over for her. I'm sure we will see her in our Blizzard scope once again. she's just not a formal employee, but it doesn't mean that her association with Blizzard is over. Just her formal work is over. But I think maybe they got to a point where it was cheaper just to have her on staff than to contract her, because I'm pretty sure. And if I had to guess, as Christie was becoming a, and in New York Times best-selling author, you can demand a little more in those contracts. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, how much is your time worth? And maybe it was more like, hey, what if we just gave you a job? What does that look like? So Christie's in a good space. She was, she was going to spend her day worrying about how the Bad Batch will end. So, so that's it for Christie. If you've not read a Christie Golden book, please go do so. She's a great fantasy writer. Of course, if you need an update on Susan and what Susan has earned in the game lately, Susan has completed the Dragonflight expansion meta achievement and has the goodest of boys as a mount. She just had to get that dumb fishing hole that was up this past week. She got the fishing hole. She got her mount. She is done. She beat the game. She beat the game. She got the meta achievement. She got the boy. Susan also has asked us, have we been peeking out any of the War Within alpha pictures, videos, information, lore, etc.? Do you want to answer that first?
Yeah, because I think mine will be the quickest. No, and on purpose.
All right, fair. No, completely fair. I've been staying away from any lore information, if that makes sense. Like anything that's story related, I've been staying away from. Anything like story lore, like I don't want to be spoiled by story. Pre-lore is fine. Like anything that's like, hey, like kind of like how should I explain it? Like lore crafting, I should say, right? Like speculative lore, I'm for. Like if novels like, hey, what ifs, I'm for all that. Like I will watch a what if video 80 times and be like, oh, what about that? Also, I try to stay away from looking too much at what's going on in the zones. The only thing I really wanted to see, and I've been wanting to see it bad, and I don't know how it'll affect the zone, but I really wanted to see that crystal change. And I watched that video, and Talan, let me tell you, it might be if the zone changes when that crystal changes, Talan, World of Warcraft might be the best MMO in the world. Just say, like, if they figured out technology where it's like, oh, this whole place changes, everything to like the whole thing, like mobs change, like if they can figure that out, right? If they can, like, I know they have it, I know they probably figure out how to do it, but if it does do it, that'd be really cool, really cool. But other than that, nothing more than like, maybe looking at like a class set and stuff like that. Definitely what I'm definitely looking at, the one thing I've been looking at, only because it doesn't affect anything that's story or lore wise, is the what are they called? Not the talent points, but the what are they called? Oh man. Nope.
Talent points.
The mastery, is it the right?
The new, like, so you have your normal talent points, and then there's going to be like that offshoot for your new one. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. The class fantasy ones, those.
Yeah.
So, did you hear about the new rogue one, the outlaw rogue one?
No, I have not. No.
Okay. There's a new outlaw. The hero talent trees, that's the one. Where is it? Let me look up rogue really quick. Is it the Fatebound talent? I never wanted to play a rogue more in my life. It sounds like the coolest thing ever. Can I walk you down this path?
Yes, go for it.
All right. So, the the rogue, the Fate Walker, is a class where you kind of gamble. Like you throw coins to buff yourself and you gamble. So if you're an outlaw rogue, it's all about being like gambling and to like, it's super class fantasy based. It's like you're actually throwing coins to buff yourself and like flipping coins and stuff like that to gamble your stuff. That is the coolest. I think that's the most rogue thing I've ever heard.
That sounds, I mean, I wonder how people are going to respond to the RNG behind that.
I think if the class fan, I mean, if it lands and it's big damage, like big damage, like the offset, you know what I'm saying? Like if you miss, not a big deal. But when you do land, it's like this really big, like quick spike, right?
Right.
It might offset, right? Like, all right, if you didn't get it, you're still hitting, your numbers. But when you do get it, it's kind of like a cardiogram, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? Like really fast heartbeat. Like that's what I'm thinking about. Like you're gonna have like dips and valleys, but not like a rolling hill. It's gonna be like real spiky. So
right,
like it's gonna.
So I mean, it's gonna be more
flat spike. It'll be bursty. I think it'll be bursty, but in a fun, bursty way. Like it'll actually be like fun to play. Trickster Rogue is, of course, that's all like, tricking things. You know what I'm saying? Like one of the things is so tricky. Trick of the trade's threat redirect duration is increased to 1 hour, but then you have don't be suspicious. Blind and Shroud of Concealment have 10% reduced count. Like I just like don't be suspicious. That's great.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Yeah. So, and some of them are coming in with like, I mean, Fire Mage, by the way. What is it? Sun Fury. Oh my God! You get the memory of LR. Like you get the floating fireballs floating around you. Come on, that's so cool. And Death Knight's mounted combat. Come on now, Rider of the Apocalypse. That's so like mounted combat.
I mean, I'm excited about that part. So I did hear about that. That sounds really, really cool. And I am excited to see what that's going to be about, but I haven't done anything else regarding that because, again, I don't want to be
spoiled.
Yeah.
Like it's hard. It's hard because you have to find videos of people specifically in Orgrimmar. And there are videos of that. Of people just going in and just doing that stuff and not showing you the new zones if you don't want to be super spoiled.
And the other part of that, like even trying to do it like on like social media, like dude, I have muted so many things about the War Within. It's not even funny. I've muted the word alpha. I've muted the word
you might as well within. Like go. Yeah, you're gonna have to like mute beta soon. Like alpha, like, beta.
So, like, I'm trying really hard to stay as spoiler free from this as I can. It is not. I'm not doing super well on some of this. So, some things that I did see. A matter of fact, last episode when you were talking about like the new race that has been talked about, literally like an hour after we finished recording the show, wouldn't you know it? YouTube. I was scrolling through YouTube and the thumbnail for like I couldn't even avoid it, right? Because on the thumbnail, that's the algorithm's not going to catch that you're trying to mute that. So on the thumbnail, it had an image of the new race, and then it literally said "new secret race." I was like, oh man, like
no,
dadgummit. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll watch it now because it's like the mystery's over. And then I kind of had an idea of who it might be anyway, right? Yeah. But I wanted to discover that mystery organically myself. Like, oh, I have this experience. Like, this is what I think it is. Oh, is it? Was I right? No, I was wrong. No, wait, maybe I am right. Oh, we're here. I was right. Like,
here's the thing. We still don't know. Like, there's still no one said anything from Blizzard. we can only assume. So it's like it's an thing. Like maybe it's a strong maybe, but it's a maybe. Like there's no, like if they haven't announced it yet, but it would be crazy if we don't see them until like a post patch. You know what I'm saying? Like not War Within drop, but like post War Within, like, oh hey, here's a new zone and these people are at that zone, and like, oh, not saying they're not there. I just we don't know yet. So it's all speculative until someone says, hey, we found them.
You know, and I would love to be that optimistic about this, but people data mine shit, okay? And I just like
he says that his co-host is scrolling WoW head.
So, you know, dude, like I want that to be true, and I appreciate the effort that you're going through to try to make this better for me. It's fine. Like the spoiler happened. It's all good. And yes, everything is still speculative until proven like legit in content. But when have the data miners been wrong?
Well,
exactly. You know, I mean, they're not always right. They're not always 100% right, because I mean, there were some times where like, oh, look at this new mount. It was a battle pit, right? That's happened before.
You're correct there too. I mean, like, listen, we still haven't seen Vampire Survivors, so
right. I'm still not convinced that that's what happened.
I mean, it could, you know, like a watch next year. They're like, hey, there's a new event. It's all Vampire Survivor. You're like, finally, it's paid off.
Yeah. I've waited for years.
Yeah.
Here it is. No, like, and like, this is nothing against data mining. If that's your jam, because there are a lot of people who like part of them enjoying World of Warcraft. And this is one of the things that I think they're trying to curb expectations on. Mm-hmm. Part of the thing that people enjoy playing World of Warcraft is being quote unquote first, right? Being the first to level 40, being the first to beat the raid, being the first to get the legendary cloak, being the first to do A, B, and C. So information as soon as possible has always been sort of part of the unspoken like nature of the game. So I get it, right? Like it's so ingrained in the culture that if they tried to, I mean, look at Plunderstorm. People were upset and others were like pleasantly surprised. I was in the pleasantly surprised portion of that. Like they weren't giving us any information. They weren't going to let us test it. They weren't going to do anything. They said, hey, we have this cool thing. You don't get to know about it, which I think is the right move. I wish that we will continue to go in that trend. But because of how gimme, I want it now so I can plan to be the best as soon as possible, is just so ingrained in the culture of World of Warcraft that I don't think that we're going to be able to get away from it. And that's also visible in the way that data miners go and look through some of this information when we get alpha builds and pre-patch events and all of that jazz. So again, nothing against those who enjoy the game in that way. It just, man, for those of us who want it to be a surprise, it makes it really, really, really hard.
In other words, Talan, don't be liking data mining.
Yeah, that's the crux of it. But of course, I can't be like, no, y'all should play the game the way I say you should play the game, and only this way. Rah, 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 rah. Old grouchy man waving his fist. Kids, get off my lawn.
Old grouchy man. Is that your new Pandaria remix character? Is old grouchy man?
Well, I mean, if it's gonna be anything like Plunderstorm, they just like zoned him in, and that was old grouchy man. Is who that was?
Old grouchy man.
So I'm fully expecting that it's gonna be very much the same, and I really hope it is, because I think that's a fun little trend that would carry over pretty well. Yeah. But you know, again, if you enjoy it and that's how you enjoy the game, and that's because it's part of the culture of the game for the last 4 or 5?
Nope, more.
Well, I was gonna say expansions.
Oh, like, more for sure. People were data mining Wrath.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think BC was actually when that really kicked off.
Yeah, what's going on over here? Well, they're hiding stuff now. They're being smart. They're now learning. They learned. Blizzard's learned. Yeah. They hide things. They've learned how to hide. So
hide it better.
Yeah, I will say. Oh, by the way, update on my stuff because people always check in to see where I'm at. I am a Plunder Lord. I got all 40 ranks in Plunder Storm. The Plunder Surge, the bonus Plunder helped a lot to get me there. Thank you, Blizzard. I also got all my my April trading post items. Yep, got all my trading post items. So good there. So I did all the things. Just in case you were wondering. So with that being said, though, Talan, do you have anything else for this lovely chat?
No, this has been a lot of fun. I'm a little sad that it's not time to do the panda things yet, but that's my own fault.
It's not time to panda.
It is what it is. Very soon, TM. But no, man, that's just about it. I don't have any other thoughts. Rather, I don't have any other thoughts that would be conducive to a hour-long podcast. We could be here for hours.
We could. So we won't be here for hours because we have to go. And the tab only gets longer. So you can find us on our. If you want to find us, where we can find us. If you want to find us. And all of our information, you can go to our Linktree /WoW Nightcap. You can find links to all of our links, Talan, me, all of our socials, X, Blue Sky, all the places. You can find us all the places right there. And by the way, as we're inching closer to War Within, and if we get new listeners, hi new listeners, how are you? Are you doing okay? Did you drink water? Drink some water. Hope you're drinking some water. Stay hydrated. And share this with your guildmates. Or your sister. If she plays Warcraft. I don't know. If your sister doesn't play Warcraft, I don't know. Maybe she'll find interest in this. I don't know.
Share it anyway.
Yeah, hello to your sister. And maybe grandma. Grandma's like us. So thank you for joining us. We hope you had a lovely time. For Talan, my name is Flattus. We'll see you on the next episode. So ta-ta for now. And hope if you're playing Cataclysm, it gets better for you. Bye, everybody.